My husband's pregnant secretary moved into our home. My husband's secretary was pregnant. On our 9th anniversary, he brought her home. Victoria's particular about her food, he told me casually. Make sure her meals are different every day. And she gets scared at night you'll need to move to the guest room so she can sleep in ours. I didn't say a word. Just grabbed the suitcase I'd already packed and headed for the door. The housekeeper tried to stop me, but Marcus laughed coldly. Let her go. She'll be back begging within 3 days. Everyone laughed. They actually placed bets $10,000 that I'd crawl back before midnight, crying and pleading to be let in. What they didn't know was that someone was already waiting for me outside in a Bentley. This time, I was really leaving. As I reached the front door, Marcus called out, Grace, leave your grandmother's bracelet. Victoria's been having nightmares. The jade bracelet was the only thing my parents left me before they died. Seeing my eyes redden, he said coldly, name your price. 9 years of marriage reduced to a transaction. I didn't bother calculating. I just remembered what happened last time I refused to give Victoria my ski goggles Marcus had stripped me and left me on the mountainside in the snow. I slipped off the bracelet and placed it on Victoria's wrist. I hope your baby is born safely, I told her. For once, Marcus threw me a bone. Grace, if you behave, my child can be your child too. The moment he finished speaking, the bracelet slipped from Victoria's wrist and shattered on the marble floor. Victoria's leg was cut by the jade shards. Marcus swept her into his arms, barking orders for the family doctor. Everyone watched me with amusement as he fussed over her. I found it amusing too. Last night, when I had a heart attack, Marcus was leaving to watch the meteor shower with Victoria. Even as I collapsed, foaming at the mouth, he stepped over me without a glance. Before I lost consciousness, I heard him tell the housekeeper, have the entire living room sanitized. Victoria's coming home tomorrow, she can't smell anything unpleasant. I tightened my grip on my suitcase handle and turned to leave, but Marcus grabbed my wrist. Apologize. What? Before I could finish, he dragged me to my knees in front of Victoria. My knees hit the jade fragments, blood staining the white floor. Seeing the blood, Marcus released me with disgust. You broke Victoria's bracelet and hurt her. Don't you think you owe her an apology? After marrying. Marcus, I'm sorry, became my catchphrase. The soup was too bland, I'm sorry. I texted him when he was drunk, I'm sorry. I accidentally saw Victoria's hotel messages, I am sorry for invading your privacy. I bit my tongue until I tasted blood, then straightened up. I bowed 90 degrees to Victoria and apologized 3 times. Is that enough? I asked Marcus quietly. Staring at the blood on my lips, his chest visibly rose and fell. Grace, your grandfather isn't here. Who are you putting on this pathetic act for? Before I could answer, the doctor arrived. Shoving me aside, Marcus led him to Victoria. While he fawned over her, I walked out the door. Outside, I heard 2 sharp honks. Seeing the silver car beyond the gates, I quickened my pace. But before the gates opened, 2 bodyguards appeared and dragged me back inside. Chapter 2. In the study, Marcus had me tied up. He ordered them to insert a needle as thick as a child's arm into my vein. Through the half-open door, I heard the doctor tell Marcus, Sir, both Mrs. Morrison and Miss Victoria have Rh-negative blood, but Mrs. Morrison has a heart condition. Forcibly drawing blood could cause acute shock. I really think we should go to the hospital. Stop arguing, Marcus said coldly. Your only job is to make Victoria healthy. I'll handle the rest. As his footsteps approached, I closed my eyes. Does it hurt? For once, his voice held comfort. Just bear with it a little longer. I turned my head away, not bothering to respond. After drawing 800 milliliters of blood, my lips were purple. Then Victoria coughed from the master bedroom. Marcus immediately stopped the doctor from removing the needle, demanding double the amount. The doctor, sweating, warned that I might die. After 2 seconds of hesitation, Marcus said, Victoria's pregnant. The pregnant woman comes first. But. I interrupted the doctor. Draw it. Then let me leave. Looking at my bloodless face, Marcus's eyes flashed with cold anger. He opened his mouth probably to ask if I'd had enough of my tantrum, if I really planned to leave over something so trivial. But Victoria's sweet voice called out, Marcus, baby. He left immediately. 2 days later, I woke in the hospital to find Marcus reviewing documents beside my bed. Our eyes met for a long moment. He brought me a bowl of porridge, moving to feed me. I shook my head. I can do it myself. After I'd eaten half the bowl, he asked, Are you feeling unwell anywhere? Instead of answering, I said, Please give me my phone. Perhaps my tone was too distant. Marcus froze for several seconds before calling the housekeeper to bring it. Seeing the many missed calls, Marcus asked sharply, Who's calling? He'd never been this inquisitive before. Irritation flashed through me. You don't know them. Unbuttoning the top button of his shirt, Marcus looked down at me coldly. Grace, how long are you planning to keep up this princess act? Give you an inch and you take a mile? Before, when Marcus was angry, I would examine myself and try to soothe him. Now, I just pointed at his vibrating phone. Victoria's calling. His eyes lit up with a smile. He habitually stepped into the hallway to take the call. The moment he left, my phone rang. Weren't you coming to find me? The voice said anxiously before I could speak. Grace, did you change your mind? No regrets, just an unexpected situation. What happened? Are you hurt? That's it, I'm flying back. I interrupted his rambling. Just give me a few more days. When Marcus returned, I just ended the call. Noticing the smile on my face, one he hadn't seen in years, something tightened in his chest. But he'd just promised Victoria he'd sing lullabies to her and the baby. No time to ask who I'd been talking to. Probably my cousin anyway after marrying him, my social circle had shrunk to female relatives only. Taking his documents, Marcus said coldly without looking back, "Grace, something came up at work. I'll see you tomorrow." Tomorrow never came. Nor the day after. Nor the day after that. But thanks to mutual friends, I received constant videos of him with Victoria. He took her to galas, business dinners. Like a lovesick teenager, he couldn't wait to introduce her to everyone. The day I was discharged, Marcus posted a 9-photo grid on social media. At sunset, he stood in a hot air balloon, cradling Victoria's flushed face, kissing her deeply. I commented, "Wishing you both a long life together and a healthy baby." 10 minutes later, Marcus called. I didn't answer. Half an hour later, having completed my discharge paperwork alone, I saw Marcus and Victoria at the obstetrics department. I heard the young nurse tell Victoria, "Mrs. Morrison, your husband is so devoted. He comes to every appointment. During ultrasounds, he even warms the gel with his hands first so you won't be cold." The other pregnant women looked envious. I unconsciously touched my abdomen, remembering the child that had once been there. The day I miscarried in a car accident, I video called Marcus crying. But it was a naked Victoria who answered. "Mrs. Morrison, Marcus lost the game to me, so he's currently handcuffed to the bed receiving his punishment. Did you need something?" I hung up without a word. Within a minute, Marcus called back, holding a pouting Victoria, screaming at me for being petty and stupid. He said, "You pathetic idiot who can't even keep a baby, what exactly are you good for? Grace, you might as well have been hit by that truck." Pulling myself from the memory, I tried to leave, but Marcus approached with a cold expression. "What are you standing there for?" I lowered my eyes instinctively. "I wasn't following you. It's just a coincidence. Sorry for disturbing you." "Wait." When Marcus called out. With a frown, jealousy flashed in Victoria's eyes. Tightening her hold on Marcus, Victoria smiled at me. "Mrs. Morrison, I'm so grateful for the blood transfusion. Without you, I'd still be dizzy. Marcus, please ask your wife to come home with us, won't you?" Marcus affectionately tapped Victoria's nose. "Whatever the world's kindest pregnant lady wants." I was planning to get my things anyway, so I didn't refuse Victoria's kindness. Chapter 3. In the spacious black car, I quickly found what Victoria wanted me to find, a pair of lace panties with stains still wet. "Oh my, how is this still in the car?" "Marcus, didn't you tell me you'd dealt with it?" Biting her lip and burrowing into his arms, Victoria hit his chest with mock embarrassment. Marcus apologized to Victoria while secretly observing my expression. When he saw I wasn't angry, that inexplicable frustration from the hospital returned. "Grace, you've been on your phone since we got in the car." His tone was unpleasant, almost jealous. "Texting your cousin, or someone I don't know?" "Having just booked my flight, I turned off the screen. Just browsing news." His displeasure became more obvious. He snatched my phone. "What's the password?" "My birthday." 9 years of marriage, and he locked the phone trying simple 6-digit combinations. We rode in silence until we arrived. The moment the car stopped, Marcus tenderly helped a nauseous Victoria to the master bedroom, then ordered the cook to prepare her favorite foods. Coming downstairs, he saw my lonely figure heading to the guest room. After thinking, he told the cook, "Make 2 of Madam's usual dishes too. Set 3 places for dinner." In the guest room, I opened my suitcase to find all my clothes shredded. Fortunately, my passport and documents in the inner pocket were intact. As I gathered my documents to leave, Victoria blocked the doorway. She held a black bottle, looking at me with disdain. "Grace, I didn't expect you to be such a doormat. Even after I've humiliated you in front of the entire upper class, you still cling to the Morrison family. Oh right, your grandmother died last month. Without that safety net, of course you'd desperately hold on to Marcus." Then Victoria remembered something amusing. "Grace, when you cried and begged Marcus to fly you to the hospital to see your grandmother one last time, do you know why he refused? Because he'd promised to take me to watch the sunset. Look, this kissing photo on my phone was taken then." I slapped the phone from her hand and grabbed her throat. The bottle slipped, and I smelled gasoline. In the struggle, Victoria ignited the spilled fuel. Smoke filled the room. Fire blazed. Still weak from the hospital, I quickly collapsed from the fumes. Then I heard Marcus's voice. "Grace." Followed by servants trying to stop him. "Sir, it's too dangerous. Wait for security to bring extinguishers. Get out of my way. Grace is still inside." He rushed in despite the danger. But he hadn't expected Victoria to be there too. "Marcus, save." Without letting her finish, Marcus scooped her up without looking at me and left. Half an hour later, after comforting Victoria, Marcus searched the entire villa but couldn't find me. That night at the airport, after mailing a package, I boarded a flight to London, coughing. Just before takeoff, I received a text from Marcus. "No time for hide and seek. Victoria has a prenatal appointment at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Come along to check your lungs." I didn't reply. I removed the SIM card and turned off my phone. Marcus, from now on, we'll never meet again. Chapter 4. The next day at the hospital. "Marcus baby, is our child okay?" Meeting Victoria's pitiful eyes, Marcus immediately held her, speaking gently. The doctor says the baby's healthy, completely unaffected by yesterday's incident. Oh, thank God. You've looked so serious since we arrived, so quiet. I thought something was wrong with our baby. Victoria's casual words made Marcus freeze. His mind involuntarily returned to my cold eyes and the flames. Frowning, he checked his phone again, frustrated that I still hadn't replied. Before, no matter how he neglected me, I always responded immediately. Now, I'd learned to play games. Sneering internally, Marcus carefully helped Victoria out of obstetrics, accompanied her to lunch, saw her safely home, then went to the office. The moment he entered, his assistant informed him that old Mr. Morrison had returned from abroad and called an emergency board meeting. As Marcus headed to the conference room, he casually instructed his assistant, buy some of the latest designer bags and jewelry. The assistant immediately responded, yes, Mr. Morrison. I'll have them delivered to Miss Victoria's residence. Marcus stopped, pinching the bridge of his nose. Send them to the Lancaster estate. He assumed after leaving the villa, I'd have nowhere to go but my family's old home. A week later, late at night, Marcus returned home after finishing a project to see a slender figure curled up on the living room sofa in a silk nightgown. Grace, I've told you countless times, when I'm done with work I'll come home. You don't need to. Seeing it was Victoria, Marcus's mocking complaint cut off abruptly. Under his cold stare, Victoria shivered, looking pitiful. Marcus, your wife hasn't come back. I've sent her so many apologies, but she ignores them all. Maybe I should move out? Watching Victoria's tears threaten to fall, Marcus frowned and held her, perfunctorily kissing her forehead, telling her to take care of herself and not overthink. Regardless of whether Grace accepts it, this is your and the baby's home from now on. Half an hour after making that promise, Marcus stood alone on the balcony in his robe, smoking. He'd quit long ago, but tonight he couldn't help himself. Unconsciously scrolling through his phone, Marcus found my number at the very bottom of his contacts. His thumb hovered over the call button. After 2 cigarettes, instead of calling, he sent a warning text. Grace, tomorrow is grandfather's 80th birthday. I'm warning you not to cause trouble at the party and upset Victoria and the baby. On the day of old Mr. Morrison's birthday celebration, Marcus arrived with Victoria, looking every inch the intimate couple. Only when the elder Morrison arrived did Marcus release Victoria's hand to stand beside his grandfather, greeting important guests. Where's Grace? Why didn't she come with you? Facing his grandfather's pointed question, Marcus pressed his lips together, defending me for once. Sorry, grandfather. Grace has been busy preparing gifts. She was exhausted, so I let her rest. She'll come later. 2 hours passed. The celebration reached the gift-giving climax, but I still hadn't appeared. Suppressing his growing unease, Marcus went to a corner and called me. The number you have dialed is not in service. He kept redialing, getting only mechanical busy signals. Then a courier entered the banquet hall, delivering my 3 packages. Under curious stares, old Mr. Morrison cheerfully opened the first gift. Inside was an exquisitely embroidered painting of 100 deities blessing longevity, clearly months of painstaking work by my own hands. Moved to tears, the elder opened the second gift. Inside were the heirloom jewels Marcus's grandmother had given me at our wedding. The room fell silent. In high society, returning ancestral jewelry meant only one thing. Before old Mr. Morrison could process this, Marcus, face black as thunder, strode to the third gift. As I'd planned, the cold-faced man personally opened my final gift. The box was large but nearly empty. Just divorce papers and a medical report. Marcus froze. Divorce? I wanted to divorce him. How was that possible? Reading the medical report, old Mr. Morrison slapped Marcus hard across the face. You bastard. Look what you've done. I should never have let you marry Grace. You've ruined her life, Marcus. Seeing his grandfather nearly faint with rage, the Morrison family quickly helped him leave. After everyone tactfully departed, Marcus still stood there, staring at the divorce papers. After who knows how long, he expressionlessly tore them to shreds. Ignoring Victoria's calls behind him, he grabbed the keys from the driver and drove to the Lancaster estate. But the mansion was completely dark. He sat outside the gates all night, smoking until his throat was raw, but no lights came on. 5 days after the party, he discovered I'd left the country. Why leave the country? Did she hate seeing him that much? He'd made the same mistake every man makes. Why could she just disappear, demanding divorce out of nowhere? He didn't agree. He wouldn't allow it. After considerable effort locating my exact address, Marcus immediately booked the fastest flight. No luggage, straight from the office to the airport. As he was about to check in, Victoria found him in tears. Marcus, baby, are you abandoning me and our baby? Glancing at her swelling belly, Marcus touched her head. I've arranged a new place for you. Move there today. Hearing this, Victoria's tears flowed freely. I'd live in a dump if it meant being with you. But our baby is innocent, Marcus. If Grace really loved you, she'd accept our child as her own, not ruin grandfather's party and humiliate you and the Morrison family. She's the type to. Before Victoria could finish venting, Marcus coldly interrupted, what right do you have to judge my wife? Victoria, I thought you were sensible. But clearly, you don't know your place. No matter how many children I have outside, Grace will always be my only wife. Oh, and when you leave the villa, take everything of yours. I don't want Grace upset by seeing your things when she returns. Victoria stood frozen in tears as Marcus walked away. Through her sobs, she laughed bitterly at his retreating figure. Huh, Marcus, you're even more naive than me. You hurt Grace so deeply, how could she possibly come back? Women understand women best, but Marcus, striding away, didn't take Victoria's words to heart. He knew his wife. In 9 years, no matter how angry Grace got, a sincere apology and thoughtful gifts always won her back. Though this time, Grace had actually printed divorce papers. Regular gifts definitely wouldn't suffice. After long consideration, Marcus went straight to a London tattoo parlor upon landing. He showed the artist the design I'd sent him 5 years ago. I'm in a hurry. No anesthesia needed. 7 hours later, Marcus left in a blood-stained white shirt. He bought $1 million gifts and 999 pure white roses. Having not slept for nearly 48 hours, Marcus tirelessly drove toward a vineyard estate on London's outskirts. On the highway, he nervously rehearsed his planned apology over and over. But no matter how he practiced, his first words would always be the heartfelt, "Grace, I've missed you so much." Chapter 5. Finally, Marcus found me abroad. But the flowers in his hands fell the moment he saw me. In the setting sun, I was in the arms of a tall, handsome man. Wearing a contented smile he'd never seen, playfully feeding each other fresh grapes from the vineyard. Marcus never got to say, "I've missed you so much." He just asked stupidly, "Who is he?" Feeling my body stiffen, Daniel Ward tightened his embrace. "You must be Marcus. I've seen your wedding photos with Grace. TSK, you're even uglier in person." Seeing Daniel make me laugh, covering my mouth, Marcus felt like someone had punched him twice in the chest. His fists clenched until his nails drew blood. "You asked who I am? Well, since you came all this way, I'll introduce myself. I'm Daniel Ward, Grace's." "Daniel Ward? I know you. You're the son of the Lancaster family's driver. The thief who got kicked out for stealing." Daniel raised an eyebrow, unfazed by Marcus's provocation. But I frowned protectively. "Marcus, Daniel isn't like that. Why are you here anyway? You're trespassing on private property." Hearing me defend another man, Marcus's face darkened. He'd forgotten he came to win me back, not fight. "Grace, I came all this way to find you. Please stop acting like a child and come home with me." "Home?" I looked at him like he was insane. "Are you brain damaged? We're divorced. Didn't you see the signed papers?" Small chance of lost mail, but not impossible. As I considered reprinting the papers for him, he said arrogantly, "I tore up that ridiculous divorce agreement. Grace, I know what you're angry about. I've dealt with Victoria. I promise she won't bother you again." Marcus approached urgently, reaching to touch the face he'd dreamed of. But I pushed him away first. My tone was flat. "Mr. Morrison, when the Lancaster family fell, only the Morrisons helped. These 9 years of marriage, I've been repaying that debt. Now Victoria's pregnant with your child, the Morrison family finally has an heir. I sincerely wish your family of 3 eternal happiness and peace." Having said this, even Marcus could hear my determination to leave. For the first time, he truly panicked. "Wife, why are you saying this? Were these 9 years together just about repaying a debt? You think I'll believe such a pathetic lie?" No, of course he wouldn't believe it. If I didn't love him, why did I beg for morning kisses before he left for work? Why did I cry my eyes out like a fool outside the operating room when he had surgery, refusing to leave no matter who tried to persuade me? I clearly loved him so much. Anyone with eyes could see how deeply I'd fallen. But what had he done? The more devoted and accommodating I was, the more brazenly he trampled my dignity. He forgot that hearts are made of flesh. Hurt enough, they go numb. Eventually, you stop wasting emotions. Forcing a smile uglier than tears, Marcus stared at me with red eyes. "Grace, I really didn't know Victoria's presence hurt you so much. She and I were just a drunken one-night stand. I only brought her home out of obligation. Once she has the baby, I'll send her abroad, okay?" I shook my head firmly. "Marcus, I don't care about your relationship with Victoria. You just need to know I have a new life here. I can't go back with you, so please leave." "What new life?" "You." Overwhelmed with emotion, having not slept for 2 days, Marcus Ward lost too much blood from the tattoo, suddenly felt the world spin and collapsed into darkness. When he woke, it was 11 p.m. Seeing water by the bedside left by a servant, Marcus mistakenly thought I'd left it. He walked out eagerly, fighting his discomfort to find me. But when he climbed the spiral staircase to the rooftop terrace, he found Daniel and me in a passionate embrace. His heart clenched painfully. Marcus charged forward, grabbing Daniel's collar through the electric pain shooting through his body. "What are you doing to Grace?" He could no longer pretend Daniel was just a neighborly big brother figure. "Who gave you permission to touch my wife?" Daniel laughed. "Your wife? Marcus, have you truly cherished Grace as your wife?" "You." Before Marcus could continue, Daniel's fist connected with his left cheek. "Morrison, if Grace wasn't so kind, I'd have thrown you to the wolves outside the estate. Let me tell you, Grace is my fiancée now. No matter how you pester her, she won't look at you again." Marcus dropped his raised fist, staring at me in disbelief. "Is it true? Grace, we've been apart less than a month and you've accepted someone else's proposal?" I didn't tell Marcus that the day I learned of Victoria's pregnancy, I'd accepted Daniel's proposal via video call. Daniel, who'd loved me since childhood. I just leaned lazily against Daniel's broad shoulder, humming agreement with a half smile. Marcus's face went white, his voice trembling. "Grace, are you insane? You're my wife. I never agreed to divorce, yet you're already with another man. How dare you do this? To me? Why not? I tilted my head slightly, blinking casually. Is your agreement important to me? Marcus, you think too highly of yourself. Let me tell you one last time, you mean nothing to me. We're truly over. Ignoring his lost expression, Daniel and I walked hand in hand back to our moon-gazing and conversation. No one knew or cared when Marcus left the estate. But he didn't return home. Instead, he bought a high-rise building near the estate with views of the vineyard. His daily schedule consisted of international video conferences and waiting outside the estate with fresh flowers and gifts I'd once mentioned wanting but never received. I neither acknowledged him nor changed my plans for him. 9 years of degrading marriage taught me one thing: a woman should never change her life direction to accommodate a man. Work when you need to work, socialize when you need to socialize. The world is vast, I'm only responsible for my own happiness. As for Marcus, I figured he was clinging on because old Mr. Morrison couldn't bear to lose me and ordered him to win my forgiveness. So I called the elder directly, telling him I had a fiancé and a new life, asking him not to force Marcus to waste time in London out of pity for me. Yet after that call, Marcus surprisingly remained outside the estate for a whole month, just for a glimpse of me through the car window. Chapter 6. Daniel broke first. That night, returning from a party, we saw Marcus in the distance holding his unchanging white roses under the streetlight. As I got out, the sky suddenly exploded with thousands of rainbow fireworks. Daniel had tortured himself watching videos of Marcus's proposal to me. Young and naive, I'd been dazzled by the fireworks and joyfully accepted. Now, seeing the fireworks capture my attention, the insecure Daniel finally snapped. He charged at Marcus, fighting desperately. Marcus Morrison. You shameless homewrecker. All you do is try to steal my fiancé. In 30 years, I've never seen such a pathetic stalker. I'm the stalker? What does that make you? Grace and I were together for 9 years. If she hadn't miscarried and become infertile from the accident, I never would have agreed to let Victoria keep the baby. I'm telling you, Grace is just angry, thinking I cheated and don't love her. That's why she's settling for you, the eternal backup. Once I win her back, she'll dump you and run back to my arms. Hearing this, Daniel furiously punched Marcus to the ground. I'd miscarried, and Daniel had dropped everything to stay by my side until I recovered. Meanwhile, Marcus had claimed work obligations while actually buying tickets to Prague, gallivanting around with Victoria. Despite my attempts to stop them, they continued fighting until 2 passing police officers intervened. One officer recognized Marcus and immediately stopped the fight, taking all 3 of us to the nearest hospital. At the hospital, I was pushed into Marcus's room while focused on Daniel's injuries. Finally, I understood tonight was all Marcus's orchestrated trap, just to get time alone with me. I asked with amusement, was it worth it? With 2 broken ribs, Marcus's eyes reddened as he smiled sheepishly. Then he said hoarsely, word by word, Grace, I've missed you so much. I've missed you so much I'm going crazy. When the doctor came to treat Marcus's injuries, I saw the tattoo on his chest. Sun, moon, and stars. This was the family design I'd created when I first got pregnant. I remembered Marcus's reaction, moon? You think you deserve to be the moon? In the hospital room, with Daniel conveniently removed, Marcus walked over and gripped my wrist desperately. Grace, I want to apologize in person. I'm sorry, wife. Everything was my fault. I'll do anything to make it up to you, just please forgive me. Before I could speak, his phone rang. It was Victoria. Answering, Marcus immediately put it on speaker. Marcus baby. Help. Your assistant suddenly broke into my apartment with several people. They brought me to the hospital, the baby, they want to take our baby. Listening to Victoria's desperate cries, Marcus didn't even frown, just smiled at me. Victoria, I know you drugged me that night. This baby cannot stay. Also, those posts you hired trolls to spread online about Mrs. Morrison being infertile IV had them deleted. The price for slandering my wife is that they won't use anesthesia during your procedure. And you'll never have children again. After several seconds of breathless silence, Victoria began frantically begging through sobs. Mr. Morrison. I was just temporarily insane. I didn't mean it. Punish me however you want, just please, spare our baby. Please. Ah. Hearing Victoria's sudden terrible screams, I instinctively frowned. Seeing my expression change, Marcus immediately hung up. Pulling my hand to his cheek, pale-faced Marcus said earnestly, Grace, I'll have them send the surgery video later. After you watch it with your own eyes, could you maybe forgive me a little? Even just a little would be good. I pulled my contaminated hand away. Looking at his instantly dejected expression, I suggested calmly, this hospital has an excellent psychiatric ward. You should make an appointment immediately. Marcus smiled weakly at me. Okay, whatever you say. Marcus thought that in 9 years, he owed me too much to count. But it didn't matter. Now that he realized his mistakes, he would spend the rest of his life making up for everything he owed me. 3 days after he had this thought, Daniel and I held a grand wedding. When Marcus received word and raced to the scene, the white-haired priest was just finishing the vows. Marcus heard me tell Daniel with a bright smile, I do. No. Grace. You can't marry him. His heart seized with pain like an electric shock. The usually cold and composed Mr. Morrison fell to his knees on the red carpet like a rain-soaked stray dog, hoarsely begging, wife, we're not divorced. I never wanted to divorce you. Please don't marry another man. With undisguised disgust, I looked down at him. Marcus, since old Mr. Morrison sent congratulations in a red envelope, I'll reluctantly forgive your rude interruption. But Daniel and I don't welcome you at our wedding. Please leave the way you came. Hearing my heartless words, Marcus's tears finally flowed freely. Grace, I really know I was wrong. Just give me one last chance, I swear I'll change. I can't live without you. Since you left, I think about you every day. Even. My dreams are filled with how good you were to me. Grace, I love you. I love you more than anyone. He declared his overwhelming love desperately in public. Marcus was so emotional that veins bulged on his forehead. He tore open his black shirt, pointing at the still bleeding moon tattoo. You're my moon. Wife, I'll agree to anything you want. Just don't leave me. Pfft. Seeing me not only unmoved but covering my mouth with laughter, Marcus was completely stunned. Meeting his broken gaze, I said breezily, Marcus, I already have someone who truly loves me and whom I love me husband, Daniel Ward. As for you, even if every other man on earth died, would never be with you again. Watching me happily accept Daniel's 9-carat diamond ring on my ring finger, Marcus felt his blood turn to ice. As Daniel and I passed him hand in hand, and Daniel carried me bridal style toward the honeymoon car outside the chapel, Marcus suddenly did something no one expected. Grabbing the silver knife from the wedding cake, Marcus screamed at me through bloody tears, you're just afraid of being hurt again. But it doesn't matter, I'll show you my true heart right now. Plunging the knife into his chest, Marcus's body shook with agony. Look, Grace, my heart, my heart. My heart loves you every moment. Grace, please look back, just once at my true heart. Hearing Marcus's pathetic howls behind me, I snuggled into Daniel's arms without looking back, pouting sweetly, honey, crazy people are scary. Take me away quickly. Daniel strode out of the chapel and gently placed me in the sports car's passenger seat. Wife, let's elope. Okay. Eyes curved with joy, I leaned contentedly against Daniel's shoulder, letting him hit the gas and drive us toward true happiness. The end.